cloud, so we're recording, and I want to make sure I have computer audio on this time. Share computer sound. That's what I did wrong last time. All right, so can you guys see my lecture? Sunday, I have you unmuted, so I can hear you. So you're my my assistant.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to keep you unmuted if you don't mind, and then if something goes wacky, let me know.
Okay.
Thank you. I know you're supposed to go. Do I get extra credit? It's always my big joke. I was that obnoxious student who always said, "Can I get extra credit?" Okay. Present. All right, bear with me. I have two monitors here, and I want to put my notes up on my big monitor. There we go. All right. I should have done this before I had you guys on there. Let's see. I need extend. Okay. Let's see, presenter view, that goes up there. There we go. All right, so that's up there. All right, I think we're good to go. So if you looked on Titanium, you saw that I had put several videos about the internet. 4 of them are little 10-minute videos that I use that are really, really good. Those are, I want to say they're optional for you guys because there also is the lecture and all that's in the lecture, but sometimes it's nice to have a different person's perspective. So this is the only one. Those are there. Those you do on your own time. There's no quiz. I just want to do this one live because social media is so dynamic and it changes that if I videotape this a month later, there's something different or something new, something's disappeared, things like that. So I want to start this with, there was a guy named Ian Hamilton who was the technology reporter both at the Orange County Register, and he's also a COM alum at Cal State Fullerton. And he made the comment to me that all media is social media because it brings us together, which is very true, but it definitively has its own definition. Now, usually when I do this lecture, it's for journalism majors or it's for my high school journalism students in the summer. So it does have more of a focus on journalism. It does have reference to PR towards the end. So relative to journalism, to be successful in using social media, a reporter has to be a person first and a journalist second, because who do we follow in social media? We follow the writer, not what the writer's reporting about, correct? We tend to follow a person, not a topic so much. I will say though, I think that's kind of changed with this COVID-19. So, well, I'm just going to skip the next comment because it's not really applicable to you guys. Let's see. Okay, so what is social media? So you've heard the term social media, social networks, social networking, and most recently just social. You call it social listening, social marketing, things like that. That's all relative to social networking. But as the name changes, so does the technology, and some come and go. And I want to say, I don't know how old you guys are, but did any of you have a MySpace when that was around, or in AOL? My daughter, who's now 30, MySpace was her middle school thing. And you could put it was called a skin, you could put a skin on, and if you were a girly girl, you could be all glittery and sparkly and fun stuff like that. But social media and social networking are two different things. So first, let's cover social media. Now, this is the best definition I found, and I like some of the keywords that are in here. It says it's a computer-mediated technology, and it facilitates the creation and sharing of information, ideas, etc. So the social media is what you create, the technology you use, and what you create. It's not how the channel you use to get it out. Here is what some of the experts call it, and I'm still referring, I guess, to Ober and Weidman because they're the first ones that really did a lot of studies with this. And they said because there's so many social channels today, the general term for social media is difficult to define, but there's some common features. Social media includes web-based and mobile technologies used to turn communication into interactive dialogue between organizations, communities, and individuals. Web 2.0 refers to the ability to interact with the website. So instead of passively having information and entertainment pushed at you, you actually participate in that experience. I'm sure you've all heard that term Web 2.0. You don't hear it as much, but when digital first really hit the scene, that was it. So I love this word. Social media is ubiquitously accessible, meaning it can be found almost anywhere, and it's pretty much available 24/7. By the way, did you, I know you're muted, but, and I can't see your comments, so I'll check in a few minutes, but I got an email today from Saddleback College that most of the internet service providers are offering low cost or free internet access to students. So if you're not at a place that you have it, then please let me know because I'll point you, I put it on Google Docs so I have it and I can point you to that.
Can I get like faster internet too?
I don't know if you can get faster, but I think that I can send you the links and you can look at them because I didn't click on any of them. I just sort of, pulled them out of this email and put them in a document.
I see.
So,
thank you.
But I'm happy to share it with you. Just email me and remind me and I'll just share it, give you the URL for it. Okay?
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're still talking about social media here. Social media is all user generated. And so what are some of the types of social that we have? We have texts, we have posts, we have comments, photos, videos, audio, complete multimedia. My favorite new one, TikTok. Everybody laughs, but I love TikTok. And TikTok can be used in a professional way. It doesn't have to be, I think it kind of started out meant to be for young children or young teens to lip sync. And I don't know, there's some out there that are very funny. Has anybody seen the Jennifer Lopez and Elrod where they switched places? And then you see all the challenges and things like that. And it's fun to watch. And it's just, I guess I'm amazed at the talent of people. Okay, user-generated content creates service-specific profiles for the website or app they're designed for, and they're generally maintained by that social media organization. Social media facilitates the development of online social networks by connecting a user's profile with those of other individuals or groups. All right, there's different types of social media. So keep in mind, well, there's all these different types, a lot of these overlap among the various services, and as new ones pop up, you never know. For example, Facebook has microblogging features with their status update, and Flickr and YouTube have comment systems that are very similar to that of blogs. All right, so our social networks, and I go into this a little bit deeper what this is because there's a lot of confusion with social media and social network. This is a service that allows you to connect with other people of similar interests or backgrounds. They usually consist of you have some type of profile and you have a variety of ways to interact with people. You can set up groups, you can set up just conversations with people. I think probably business-wise, Facebook is still the most popular, and as YouTube's catching up very quickly. Then there's the bookmarking sites, which people don't use as much anymore because now it's easier to bookmark in our browsers, but it allows you to save, organize, and manage your links, and as well as other resources, and they let you tag those links so they're easier to search and to share. I almost want to put Pinterest over there instead of, well, where'd it go? I guess I probably should because I don't even see it on here at all. Pinterest would be a bookmarking site. Social news would be services that allow people to post news items or links to outside articles and then allows users to vote on those items. I'm trying to read my notes here and see if there's anything else. Anybody use Reddit? I can't. I got to go to right, which you can see the comments here. Hold on a sec. Oh, there's a lot of people chatting there. All right, there's the chat. I'm going to try to.
She lost it.
All right, let's see. My chat is like huge tonight. I don't know why. I'm going to leave my chat down and you guys can chat and I'll come back and read those later. If you want to unmute and pop in and then I can hear you. But if you would prefer to use the text chat, that's fine too. Media sharing. There's another one that where I'd put Pinterest, I think, is because that's what I use it for. Those allow you to upload and share different types of media, pictures, video. Probably the most common would be YouTube and Flickr. Microblogging is a combination of blogging and instant messaging, and it allows users to create short messages that are going to be posted and shared with an audience online. Twitter is obviously the biggest one there. Twitter's become so much easier to use now that you can type 280 characters instead of what used to be 140 characters. So, whoops. Oops, that's okay. So she just muted it. All right. And then we have blogging where we can have comments. We can allow members to hold conversations, things like that. And if you're a blogger at all, you probably know these three. We have WordPress. WordPress is now probably the most commonly used platform for my clients that I build websites for. They seem to like that and want that the most. We have Blogger, which is owned by Google. A lot of teachers still use it, I know. All right, any questions about the types of social media? Okay, so what's the most popular? Obviously, they're all social media itself is very popular. When I did this slide, the first time Facebook had 845 million members. And now it's off the chart. I don't even know what it is. It says February 2017, but that's not correct. I have changed this since then. Let's see. Hang on, I'm going to advance my slides because if it's still this way, yeah, hold on. I got a newer one of these. Oops. Let's see. Oh, I know. I know why. I redid it with a white background. Excuse me. Okay. There we go. I was like, where's my slide? I'm missing. All right. All right. So I no longer have notes. So I'm just going to wing this. I've done this lecture enough times, I should know it. All right, so here's the difference between social media and social networking. The media you create and upload to the web, and the one-to-many communication, the methodology of it is social media. Social networking is the channel you use, and it's about the engagement. It's because it can be two-way conversation. you're building relationships. For those of you who wanted to go into like social marketing or those kind of things, everything you do is going to be about engaging with your clients, with your your personnel you're working with, whoever your audience is. Some are both. Some are actually both. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest are what are called whole package platforms. So they do both. They're the tools that do it, and they're the networking of it as well. So again, they kind of crisscross. But I just want to make sure you understand that when you hear one, they're used synonymously almost, but they're really different. All right, so social networking sites, I don't know if you guys can see the text in these, but Facebook is the most popular, and YouTube is second, Instagram is third, and then I have no idea what some of these other ones are because this is international. Qzone, I assume they're used in other countries. But make sure you know Facebook is the most popular social networking site. That's a test question. All right, here's some statistics I found the other day I thought were really interesting. What motivates people to use social media? The most popular are to find funny or entertaining content, fill up spare time, stay up to date with news and current events, and then it's staying in touch with people. So it's starting to be more than just a medium for entertainment, which is really sort of what I think it started to be, was social utility, and then it turned to entertainment, and now it's for, with speaking uses and gratifications, it's also for cognition, because that's where I've, trying to avoid looking constantly at Twitter today with what's going on, what's the latest with the virus, what's the latest with Cal State Fullerton postponing graduation, and then Saddleback about 5 minutes later did the same thing. Social media statistics, again, these are just numbers, and again, it shows Facebook is the most commonly used. In online content here, let's see. Oops, go back. I actually have links in here where you can look at these statistics because they change all the time. So like this was updated in February 2020. Can you guys see this? Are you still looking at my slides? You can see this green image? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Theo. All right, so here's how it changes. So look at this. February 26, 2020, TikTok's US user base will grow 21.9% this year to 45.4 million people. When I get done, I got to ask any of you if you've done anything on TikTok, because I got to go find you. And yes, I'm not telling you where I am because I don't want you laughing at me. I'm usually on there with my dog. Okay. I feel like I'm going too fast. Okay, so the latest technology and innovations in social media, and these are more specifically for how they're used in business than social. Virtual reality has become very popular. 360-degree video. Anybody taken 317 with Davis Barber? He's got his 360-degree camera, and he breaks it out, and I always want to hide because you cannot hide from a 360-degree camera. 3D. I don't see a lot of it, but it's become very popular. Live video. Now I found an article that came out just today in PR News that said Facebook Live, people stopped using it. It wasn't popular anymore. They all went to Instagram stories. And because of this virus outbreak, that's the best way to do a live press conference. So people have gone back to it. They know that's where to look. When we do fires, that's all we use. When we do press conferences, that's all we use. We tease it off of Instagram, but we don't do it on Instagram. It's too hard to stitch. When you can do 1 minute at a time and you've got a 20-minute press conference, it's too hard to stitch it together. Periscope, I don't really use that anymore, but that was through Twitter. It was very similar. Video storytelling, very, very a necessary skill you need in communications. No matter what you go into, you're going to want to need to know how to tell a story using video, whether it's just with your phone and it's a little 30-second, ad, 15-second PSA, or a mini doc. Whatever, you're going to want to know how to do that. So take all the classes that you can on not only the editing side, but the storytelling side. Ephemeral content is like your stories on Instagram and Facebook that disappear after a certain amount of time. And then we have our niche social media, which TikTok is exactly that. They're predicting it's going to get very, very popular, but how long will it last that way? Remember the music interactive I showed you where the musicians went up and down and up and down? Social media is sort of the same thing, except Facebook continues to hold that top spot. Social commerce is very popular too. I hate it. But how many of you buy things that you see come through your feeds, whether it's your Instagram feed or your Facebook feed, your LinkedIn feed? I see things all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to have those shoes or something like that. So journalism, how has social media changed that field? Well, it used to be when you got a deadline from your editor, he gave you a time slot, like you have 2 days, or if it was breaking news, you have 2 hours, or if you were going to cover the Angels game, you had to wait till the game was over at 10:30, and then you stayed in the press room and you wrote your story, and I remember the days you faxed it over to the office, and the print went out at 2 o'clock, went to the press at 2 in the morning, and then by 5 o'clock in the morning, they were going out the door in the trucks. Now deadlines are immediate. If you're a reporter and you are covering the Angels games, you are not only writing a story, you're sending out tweets, you are sending out all kinds of things on Instagram. Hopefully you have an intern that's going to help you or you'll be that intern. By the way, if anybody's interested in interning for the Angels, they pick their interns for the season in October. And I have a link I can give you to the website with the information of what you're required to know, the skills you're required to know to take on that job. It's a super fun internship. And of course, because it's so close to the campus, they do take a lot of Cal State Fullerton students. Obviously, breaking news and trending stories have to go online right away. Reporters don't just write their stories and type it up and send it to be published or to be printed anymore. Most of us had to learn how to shoot our own pictures, how to shoot and edit our own video, and how to make multimedia stories. And of course, I was very surprised at how many of my college students don't read print magazines. You don't have to anymore. They're on the web, they're online, and you can find pretty much whatever you want from a magazine on those magazines' social media or on one of their social networks. In communication in general, here's some of the things that, well, I'm going to skip this slide because I kind of go into this a little more. All right, so I'm going to address some very, that's what I'm looking for. My mind's blank. Important things that social media pretty much changed. The first time Twitter really made an impact news-wise was May 1st, 2011, when Osama bin Laden was killed. And if you look at the chart here, there was a reporter that tweeted this out first. And it wasn't, I don't know if I can make this any bigger, but Keith Urban right here tweeted at, my thing's in the way here, tweeted first right here, that Osama bin Laden was dead. It wasn't until a couple hours later that it was officially announced by by President Obama. And here's his tweet right here. So I'm told by a reputable person they've killed Osama bin Laden. Hot damn. It was 2011, so that was almost 20 years ago. It was shared 1,600 times immediately, like almost immediately, and 732 people liked it. But today that would be in the hundreds of thousands, I'm sure. But today, if I saw that as a journalist, I'm certainly not going to share it. I'm going to find out if it's really true before I start sharing, especially as a professional, sharing it, as if I'm branded as a reporter. The second time was, did anybody see the movie Sully when
Yep.
that was on?
Maybe.
Okay, all right. Well, what happened was this U.S. Airways plane took off from the airport in New York. I believe it was JFK. And um, when you take off, you go off along the East River, and they were going along the river, and they hit a flock of birds, and it blew out one of their engines, and they went down in the river. The, the only way they knew, or how they knew originally, was because this guy here, Giannis, was on a ferry that was going from Staten Island to Brooklyn, and tweeted it that there's this plane in the Hudson, crazy. And immediately people shared it, and all the ferries that were out there went and got these people. Now keep in mind, this is New York City on January 19th. So that was some cold water. And those people are standing on the wing. So if it wasn't for Twitter, a lot of those people would have died of hypothermia. Because by the time somebody saw it from the air, called it in, they got the police boats out there and everything, it would have been too late. How many of you wonder if there was social media when the Titanic went down, if it would have helped a lot of those people? All right, and this is a shot of Japan after this, Japan after the tsunami went through. And a lot of times, because especially international news, journalists used to have to rely on the wire services and things like that. And it still took, it wasn't instantaneous. But now, if there's some type of event like that, they can instantaneously get photos off the internet from, let me back that up. Reporters who are photographers will immediately upload their photos. In my industry with motorsports, I have photographers who, as they shoot the picture with their DSLR camera, it immediately uploads to either like a Flickr account or Smug Mugs, or some go right to social media. So it'll go to Instagram. And so those pictures are right there, and they're locked accounts. So they're open only to the media that they're working for. But they can pull those out and put those right up on their website right away. So when I'm covering fires, the photographers that I work with do that for me. They'll send me their pictures right away. So I use them on my social media posts. For example, if I'm going to send out, I had a really good one from Stuart Paley of the, oh my gosh, which fire was it? The Holy Fire. And the Holy Fire burned down the hill towards Lake Elsinore and was literally in people's backyards. So the firefighters are all on the fences, and the people that lived there literally would not leave, and were standing there with fire hoses helping the firefighters. So the pictures were really powerful. And I got them up on Twitter really quickly, and because I got them up quickly, I didn't have to do them on any other social networks because they disseminated out so fast. I could kind of take my time and say, okay, if I get them up on Twitter, then people are sharing them to Facebook, they're sharing them to Instagram. They're putting stuff on YouTube. The videos I share, they're putting them on YouTube. And it's just pretty amazing. This is a story that a reporter used social media to help find this missing girl. And there's a picture of her when she was kidnapped. I'm sorry, she wasn't missing, she was kidnapped. And because of social media, people really started looking for her. Again, this is the first time this was probably really successful. Okay, I'm going to ask for a second here because I need to get my notes. So I'm going to stop my share for a second here. Jessica, I have you front and center here. I'm trying to move you out of the way. All right, there we go. Nope. All right. All right, let me go back to this one. Okay. Crap. Someday I will be good at this. And I keep losing my page. All right, share screen. All right, there we go. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you're seeing her again.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I found my notes about this. So I gave you the right story for that one. This is the one I wanted to check was, okay, so Facebook, anybody use Facebook for business where you have like pages and you use Facebook pages? Anybody working have a job in PR already?
No.
Okay. Well, um, Facebook has Facebook pages and Facebook groups, and then individuals have their own news feed. And pages allow individuals and organizations or even a product, service, or just a concept can create a page. They used to be called fan pages, and they were meant originally for bands. Band the That's a tough word to say when you're on a video conference. So, or well, I should say they were meant for a fan club. So, and fan clubs are very popular for movie stars and films and games and things like that. But today they're used more for engagement with clients. They can be very brand specific and things like that. It's a great way for media professionals to give your audiences, your publics, your stakeholders, whoever your audience is, value added information other than what they're getting with just your website or a neighbor or something like that. For journalists, a page offers unlimited space where they can talk about things that they maybe can't fit into a news publication, or it's not timely or something like that. Anybody think of how Facebook pages might be beneficial in PR? How might you use a Facebook page in public relations? Think of what's going on right now. how many of you got emails from a company, a store? Oh, Theo's raising his hand. Go ahead, Theo.
I was just thinking it'd be a very easy way to like do press releases, or I think you can even see there's a promotion for Tangled on the Disney page. So
Mm-hmm.
you could
Whoops.
announce upcoming whatevers on the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. You
So
can set up events
yeah,
and you can promote your events. So Facebook pages are definitely a tool that you use a lot in public relations. What I was actually referring to was I got emails from almost every retail outlet that I follow on or that sends me email, basically coupons and things like that. Starbucks, um, fast food places, restaurants, basically letting me know that the steps they're taking to prevent the spread of this virus. That's called crisis communication. You certainly don't want anybody, for how many of you either work at Starbucks or have gone to a Starbucks in the last 2 days? The tables and the seats are gone because they're for safety reasons, they're only doing mobile orders and things like that. I see again, I can't see the chats, but I see there's people chatting. And I'm going to guess we have at least one person that works there or works at some type of coffee shop. All right. So in PR, if you look at this chart, that's how it works in general. You have an organization, and every organization or every business has stakeholders. If it's a nonprofit, they have donors because they don't sell a product. They're based on donations of from sponsors or from individuals. They generally do have employees. Think of, I say nonprofit, think of like the American Red Cross. They get blood donations, they get money donations, they get all medication donations, all kinds of things like that. One of your classmates works at Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is an organization. They depend on income from other sources to be able to provide services for no charge to a lot of women, especially women who need those services. Now, a business is going to have customers and it's going to have investors, especially if it's a publicly held corporation. So just to give you that little chart there before I go into the next slide. But a PR practitioner's job is generally to help that organization communicate with those stakeholders. So organizations might be any of those I mentioned, or it could be people who just have a common interest, like a club, surfing, knitting, Great Danes, whatever. Social media is one of the most commonly used channels to keep those lines of communication open. Again, right now, the Orange County Healthcare Agency, the County of Orange, big faux pas yesterday. They sent out a 10-page release that confused everyone, whether you were an individual or you were a business. And I don't know how many of you probably got a phone call that said you don't need to come into work because we're closing. And so you probably scrambled to figure out how you could apply for unemployment. And then today they called and said, never mind, come into work tomorrow, because they really made an error. And to the point, several very powerful people in Orange County said you need to get on Facebook and do a press conference and explain exactly. How many of you thought we were at a San Francisco, like shelter in place kind of thing, like stay home, don't talk to anybody? And that's really not what they were implying. They were implying that if there's more than 10 people, they need to have social distancing. Would have been much easier to just say that than send out 10 pages in a press release. Jessica, do you agree? So you
Yes, yeah, it was so frustrating. I was like, I had really big plans with family and we canceled them because we thought we were all supposed to stay in our house. So that was like really frustrating.
Mhm. Well, and then they're like, it was under police order. As if
Yeah, and it was
it was, yeah.
like, don't do this, you get fined. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was confusing. It was ambiguous. It was unfair. And I think they could have flat out come out and apologized. But again, you never apologize. You just fix it. All right, next. Okay, well, of course, I'm selfish, so I'm going to keep talking about the holy fire here because this one that's kind of near and dear to my heart because it was right here in pretty much my backyard. If it weren't for social media and social networking, we wouldn't be able to track and monitor what was going on with that fire. We couldn't do live press release or live press conferences and live reporting. We couldn't promote the activism to get people to evacuate, and nor did we have a good way for our crisis communication. So here I have a picture of one of the public information officers for the Orange County Fire Authority. And then here is one of our press conferences that actually was put on social media live, but it was also, the quality was high enough, the audio and everything, that the television stations rebroadcast it.
Team 1 Incident Management Team. We are in Unified Command with the Cleveland National Forest and Riverside County Fire. Today we're going to discuss the fire situation with in regards to the holy fire as far as the evacuation and firefighting effort. And then second part of it is that we are going to discuss the arrest of an individual that is connected to this fire. And so before I get started here, I'd like to introduce everybody that is here today. So all the way to my right here is OCFA.
Okay, I'm not going to subject you to watch the whole thing. That is Tram Nguyen, who is, at the time, he was the PIO for the Garden Grove Fire Department, which has now been absorbed by the Orange County Fire Authority, and he's now just starting to be the PIO again, one of them for the Fire Authority. So if you ever get involved in that, you could, and he also comes for Com Week and stuff like that, but he's a Cal State Fullerton communications graduate, and then went to the Fire Academy. All right, so you can use social media if you want to monitor what people or groups are saying about you, about your client, about your brand, whatever. But PR people and journalists can tweet, they can live stream, they can use all these various tools, and they can do it from press conferences or even from other staged events. An activist can use social media to bring attention to a cause or a need. I don't really have feel strong about any causes, but I do think about things like the Susan B. Komen walk in September for breast cancer. And I've done some live tweeting from that and, interviewed cancer survivors and things like that. Now, stuff like that is beneficial. For me, it was, private thing, but if I was representing that organization, that makes people open up their pocketbooks and donate money. I'm going to donate money to this great organization for research to, hopefully someday eliminate breast cancer. It's also, as you saw there, a great way to get out information during a crisis. That fire was started by a resident that lived in Holy Jim Canyon, and he was arrested, but there's about 15 cabins back there, and they pretty much all burnt, got some damage. And then that fire spread, and within the first 4 hours, we were trying to evacuate over 20,000 people. Anybody live out that way towards Lake Elsinore or off Ortega Highway? You've all been there though, probably, so you know where I'm talking about. The fire started in August of 2018, and it wasn't fully extinguished and 100% contained until over a month later. So this was a long freelance job I had of making sure that the media knew what was going on, the people that lived there knew what was going on, all that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see. All right, I have a big long notes for this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll read part of it. Ron Torresonian, founder and CEO of New York City-based 5W Public Relations, said, PR is a mix of journalism, psychology, and lawyering. It's an ever-changing and always interesting landscape. This multifaceted firm manages PR for a variety of businesses and organizations, and he works issues such as branding, communication crisis, startups, things like that. And if you read their blog, he talks a lot about how social media has changed public relations over the last decade. And he said, social media has changed how people communicate as well as when they communicate, where they communicate, and even who they communicate with. And these are the things that he said that social media has changed public relations. So I'm going to call it PR 2.0. It's encouraged far more of a customer focus. More customers focus on their, or more brands focus on their customers and building those positive relationships. I don't know about you, but I am the first one that will go on to social media and complain about something. I bought a pair of shoes at JCPenney's one time, and they were really poor quality, and I posted something on social media, and within about 10 minutes I had an email with a coupon to get my, to purchase something else, basically, and a letter of apology that I didn't like the quality, which I thought was pretty cool. It forces companies to have to resolve these issues, and it avoids a PR crisis. So because if you're in PR, your main job is to keep whatever you're focusing on in a positive light. You have the 24/7 news cycle, which has its ups and downs because things tend to get out there that aren't true. So I want to say news cycle becomes a curse when bad news travels through all these social networking platforms, because it makes it more of a nightmare for people in PR. It makes it very affordable for people with small businesses. You used to have to pay a lot for people to do this work for you. Sorry, my dog's running between, sitting here under my desk. And then you have integrated public relations, which is where you combine marketing, advertising, and PR. And when I do the PR module, I'll talk more about that. Obviously, we have greater engagement. There's no longer a one-way street where you're pushing out content. Social tools are useful to get the word out. However, sometimes it's a curse too. This one on the left was Kraft Foods launched their Rainbow Oreo in the summer of 2012 as a marketing campaign to show support for Gay Pride Month. And some people were appalled and really took it as a slap in the face to the LGBT community. Yet Kraft used its Facebook page and Twitter to immediately respond to both the positive and the negative feedback, which is a really good example of online engagement, and it averted a crisis. And Oreos, if you've certain professors love to talk about Oreos PR, great in social PR and social media with Oreos is great. Every day they come out with something different. Social media can also create even a bigger mess. If you remember what happened with United Airlines in early April 2017, when this man was dragged out of his seat, and the CEO, Oscar Munoz, was raked over the coals because his response on Twitter was completely inappropriate. Then he doubled down and he sent a letter to all his employees. I think it was the next day. And he said the passenger was disruptive and belligerent, and that letter got out to the public. So social media and PR can sometimes be a nightmare. These are just tools that you can use. I'm not going to click on them right now. You're welcome to. The slides, I'll make sure I think the slides are posted for this. Muckrack is a really good resource if you're in PR and you're trying to get a story out. It'll help you find journalists that focus on your type of event. For example, if you, I don't know how many of you are, I think a lot of you are juniors and you aren't in your capstone yet, but if you're a PR major and you choose the Newport Beach Film Festival for your capstone, a lot of what you're going to do is you're going to be trying to get journalists to come and cover that event. So this Muckrack is is a website you can go to find journalists who specifically do film reviews and things like that. I guess I have to say, before you share anything on social media and are accused of spreading fake news, always check and double check your sources. Your credibility is your reputation, and you don't want to ruin it, especially as a college student. But everybody makes mistakes. I think we see something we want to share it immediately. This is a quote from that I found in Wired magazine, which is probably, when I talk about magazines, one of my favorite magazines because I love the diversity of what they publish. But they said, what happens to factuality itself is algorithms replace humans. Facebook supplants traditional media, and the president declares war on the press. That perfect storm has made fake news as unstuck from fact and as unstoppable as any viral hoax. Watching the meaning of fake news evolve shows just how easily even facts about facts can slip away. There's also tools that are used by social media professionals that probably never was intended that way. Facebook and Twitter are a means to an end, but not the end itself. So people have to always decide which channels are going to be best. Anybody used to watch their news on Snapchat? I used to go to People magazine every day and read their Snapchat stories, things like that. Okay, that is the end of that. I just kind of threw that together so that you had something. I always feel a little bit old when I'm talking about social media with people who, you know, it's going to be your generation that follows the innovations in these tools and how they're used in your fields. So I guess I can end this by saying, you know, stay current with what is popular as well as what is the best channel for an audience that you're working for. All right, now I'm going to unshare my screen and I'm going to look at the comments here. Portos is fire. You want to see my dog? Come here. Coda. 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 I don't know where she went. Oh, here she comes. Come here. They want to see you. Come here. Come here. Up, up, up. Come here. Come on. I have both of them now. Come here. Hurry up. Everybody wants to see you. Come here. Come here. Up, up, up. Come here. Come here. Come on. Okay. Come here. Look. Can you see her? This is my pitty. My pitty that looks like a beagle. Come here, Ruckus. Come here. No, he's camera shy. Sorry about that. Look at all those smiles. You guys are an awesome class. You know that? Big thumbs up for you.
We do what we can.
Bobby, you look like you're gonna shoot me or something.
Yeah. I think your dog's
You're not sleeping, are you?
No. Not here, not now.
You're gonna hate me. 5 years from now, you're gonna be like, oh my God, that professor would never leave me alone about falling asleep in class. You know, hey, you don't drool, you don't snore, you're doing okay, right? All right, any questions? All right, I wanna show you what your assignment's gonna be. So I'm gonna talk about it a little bit, then I'm gonna show you the tools. Has anybody used, I don't know if it's better to say used or not used Wakelet before? All right, Wakelet is a curation tool where you can basically copy a link to anything and paste it on, and it makes like a story. So what I'm going to have you guys do, and this will be for over the next couple of weeks, is I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a prompt. I'll post it on Titanium. It'll be related to the virus. And I want you to basically pick kind of a theme, and I want you to put a story together in Wakelet using social media. Probably Twitter is going to be the best, but there's if you find other things on other channels, even on the web, it works fine. So I want to show you how it works. So let me open it up and share that screen with you. So now, before I do that, and I can see a good number of you, did any of you have to go home? Home, like parents' home?
Everyone in the dorms was told to either like pack up and leave or temporarily vacate. And then there were like specific cases where if you couldn't, you could stay. But I had to go home, so I'm at home right now.
Oh, geez. Do you live close or do you live far away?
I actually live north of San Francisco, and so
Oh my
we're
God.
on shelter in place right now,
Oh,
where you're only
geez.
allowed to go out for like essential stuff, and if you do go out in public, like you're supposed to stay 6 feet. It's a little bit of a disaster up here, but
Oh, geez.
we're
The
gonna,
nice way to say it, right?
yeah.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get quite that bad down here, but I think we're prepared for it. We all have our toilet paper now. All right. So, oop. All right. So if you go to wakelet.com, wakelet.com, this is the page that you'll see. It's free. It's an easy sign up. You just click sign up here and you can sign in with your Google address, Microsoft, Facebook, or you can sign in right with your email. So I'm just going to log in because I already am in here. And I use this all the time, so I have this one specifically set up for, I'm going to try my Google one. Let's see. Nope. Why won't it let me? You know, when something's going to go wrong in front of 25 students, it will. It's like Murphy's Law. All right, let's see if this is going to be it. Oh, this is it. All right. Nope. Come on. Okay. All right. So this is what it looks like. You're gonna create a new collection, and I'm gonna name it here. I'm gonna say COVID because this is the hashtag that's most popular for the virus. COVID-19 and Cal State Fullerton. All right. And then I'm just not going to write a description, but I want to show you how easy this is. I'm going to go off to another screen and I'm going to open up my Twitter account. I'm going to move you guys over there. Or can you see my Twitter account?
Yes.
Okay. I love my department chair there. An 89-person faculty meeting conducted via Zoom. I'll amputate my limb before I do that, he put. That's pretty good. All right, so to search on Twitter, the very basic search is up here. So I'm just going to search Cal State Fullerton and latest. Actually, I'm going to search anything with photos or videos. Me checking my student email every 30 seconds to see if Cal State Fullerton is going to cancel all my classes too. She's very attractive. All right. So some of these are actually pretty funny, but they're not what I wanted. I don't know if you guys have looked at some of these memes, but they're absolutely hysterical. All right. So if you want to do an advanced search, you can click advanced search right here. And so if I want to look for hashtags and I want to do Cal State Fullerton and the virus, COVID-19, and then I'll click search and see what comes up. All right, so I don't know what this has to do with. All right, Oh, it's or. And all these words, these hashtags. All right, so here's a tweet that's actually about this. So just to get to what I wanted, if I want to take this tweet and put it into Wakelet, all I do is I click down here. This is where the link is for this. And I'm going to select copy link to tweet. And I'm going to go back to my Wakelet. And where this little green plus is, if you click it, you can add in any of these things, a URL, text, a YouTube link, the tweets, which I don't like because it searches for them, but I'll show you how it works, and all these other different types of things. So I'm just going to paste this URL in here, and it's going to propagate it right here in there. But if I want to actually make a story, you hit text, and you get a nice text editor here, and you could say students were anxious about how the classes moving online would work. Okay? And I'm going to hit save. And then I have the tweets. Now you can sort them. You can, the way that you can choose the way they look, which I don't like. Keep it media view as a default. So when you get done with that, and I'll give you the instructions how to collect, how many I want you to collect of this. Up here it says private. You need to change it to unlisted. And then save it. And then you'll be able to grab the URL of it, of the link. So here's what it's going to look like now. So then up here you have share. And you just copy this link, and this is what you would put into Titanium when you're all done, so I can look at it. Okay? Okay, let's see. I want to just show you one that I have done before. Okay, so this is one that I made. I gotta make you guys smaller here. All right. This was for another class, and I think I might just use this for you guys because I think it's this is too much for you. I don't want you to have to do this much work. Many are blaming the press and the media for false information and causing consumers to panic and hoard personal necessities. And they have to post 3 tweets relative to that issue. All right. So then I gave them some things to kind of start with, and they gave it a class hashtag, and this is actually what I'd set up for you guys, but I'm going to change it for them. But if you want to do it this way, it's fine with me. As a matter of fact, now that I see this, this is something I think probably I will do for you guys, is have you hashtag your tweets, and then I can propagate them that way too. Okay, so then I had a comment here. I feel like it's the public using social media that are creating some of the havoc. I'm in several groups on Facebook, and because people are frightened, they're trying to figure out the best way to handle this. Is social distancing actually going to work? And then I had a tweet about that. And then I talk about when I want something to be truthful, I check the CDC's website. And then I had a tweet about that. So basically what I did was I found the tweets first, and then I added the text in between, which was far easier. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll share this with you guys so you can see us get an example of it. I mean, I added a background. You don't have to do that. I added a cover image. You don't have to do that. But this is very nice when you're trying to use social media to make a story and curate. So like I said, you can add in, if I wanted to, for example, if I want to edit this and I want to go in and I want to start looking and see, I want to look and see what's on what's on, well, I guess I can't. I was going to say Instagram. Instagram, you can share it, but you have to share share the URL of it. Tweets you can share as long as they're recent. So if I type COVID-19, it's going to be the last 50 that it finds about it. So I don't obviously want them all, but I'm going to see if I add in, actually, I'm going to do it by user. All right, here's Cal State Fullerton. So if I just click this, I don't want all 50. I can't see the bottom of this thing. And I'm just going to click add. And it adds it right in there. Okay? And you can move things around if you don't like where it is, you just drag it around to where you want it, put it in a different order. You can select easy reorder mode and it shrinks everything up so it's easier to drag things around, especially if you get it very long, really long one. Okay, I'm going to go back to the unshare and back to the grid here. If I can see you guys. Okay. Hang in there, sleepyheads. I'm almost done. Cesario, I see you like hanging out there. Okay. Stop share. All right. All right. I'm looking at everybody's. Somebody's back in Sacramento. Somebody who works at In-N-Out. Oh. It says I got a new message. Ah, I just locked my screen up. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Sedona, you work at In-N-Out. You guys are only takeout. Oh, there's a thread for CSUF. Oh, Reddit's got a ton of stuff. So, if you want to drag it from, I don't care what social network you use in Wakelet. So we have people who are out of the country. Wow, you guys are awesome. All right, any questions for me? I will post that tomorrow, because tomorrow actually I don't have to teach. So I will focus on you guys and get that up for you. If you haven't taken the midterm, don't forget it closes tomorrow night. There's still a few people that haven't taken it yet. I don't want to forget to send out a reminder, but I don't want to annoy people if I send out too many reminders either. So I'll fine tune this, but I wanted to at least show you Wakelet. And if it's something that you're not really comfortable with, I can point you to videos, how to use it. I've made some, there's some that are already out there. It's really, really simple to use. And this is an assignment that it's not going to be due the next day. You can work on it, 10, 20 minutes a day if you want, and then you'll have plenty. Or you can sit down all at one time and work for, an hour or whatever. But I'm trying not to do that. If it's a 3-unit class, you're supposed to have, 175 hours of homework. Because I think y'all have enough to do right now with all this going on. Except for Theo, because he's sequestered. Okay? Again, I really thank you guys. So keep an eye on Titanium, and I will keep in touch with you as to what we're doing. I will try my best to get everything posted timely, not give you anything that's a drop dead deadline that's 2 days away. And if I do, very nicely remind me that I said I wouldn't do that. Please don't rip me a new one. I've been in tears several times from students who just are being, excuse my French, very fucking nasty to me when I don't feel I deserve it. I think I'm really trying to do the best I can here. And I know you guys are too. So, excuse me, I shouldn't have cussed on the internet. I said the F word. I know, sorry all you moms and dads that got to hear me. Or you kids. All right. Look at those happy faces. All right. Any questions? All right. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let those bed bugs bite. So if I don't talk to you, then I will, like I said, I'll get everything posted, and I want you guys to enjoy your spring break. Okay? All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the weekend.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.